messed up, y'all. I took one too many trades yesterday and ended up hitting the max drawdown for my the Leeloo performance account. So now I get to start all the way back over at zero in an evaluation account. Um, I wanted to make this video yesterday, but I didn't have enough time. So, I wanted to make it while I was still in the energy of everything, but I didn't get to do it. So I'm making it today. And, let's just get right into it. Alright, so I want to make this video with no edits. That's the goal, to try to make this to where I don't have to make any edits. So I'm going to go through this slowly, and you're just going to have to excuse me in advance for any long pauses or me getting lost over my words, or any imperfections as I talk about this, because I want to make this as raw and I want to make this, here I go already. My mouth don't want to work. Anyway, so I want to make this as raw and as authentic as I possibly can. So I don't want to do any edits on this one. We'll see how that goes. But all right, let's go ahead and get right into this. All right, so I got my notes right here on my iPad. That's why you may see me looking down, just in case. I want to make sure I cover everything that I wrote down yesterday, because of course I do my journal every day, and then at the end of this I also wrote down everything that I wanted to review and all of that stuff. All right, so normally after a day like this, after I just have a bad losing day, or after I just make a mistake like this, and I'm trying to get everything situated, so just bear with me. I'm gonna get together because I want to set this up. That's why. All right, here we go. All right, yeah. So normally, after a day like this, if I have a big loss, or if I do something, I make a big mistake, which is what happened yesterday. What I would do on the following day, I just wouldn't, I wouldn't look at a chart. I wouldn't look at my, I wouldn't review anything. Because the day of, I'm still into the energy of all of that, and I'm, figuring like, what did I do wrong? What did I do right? I'm going through everything, just I beat up myself a little bit, of course. But anyway, so that's what I would normally do, but I'm going to do that tomorrow pretty much, because I wanted to make this video. That's the main reason. And plus, I already got planned out tomorrow to spend some time with family. So, that's a good time. I just take tomorrow and unwind, and just tomorrow being Sunday, of course. And, depending on when I'm going to try to put this video out the same day. But, of course, I got things that I got to do in the afternoon. So, we'll see how that goes. But what I'm saying is, following a day like this, I like to, for me personally, everybody has their own thing. For me personally, following a day like, what happened yesterday, I like to just completely step away from everything and regroup, refresh, and then, come back, to the charts and everything with a fresh mind, and mostly focus on what I, did right and what I can take on into, as I move forward into my trading, right? So, with all that being said, just a quick breakdown of what happened yesterday. I just took a completely bad trade. Like, while I wasn't in the right headspace, which I didn't realize that until, in hindsight. And just to paint the full picture, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about what had me in the wrong, mental state. But part of that was the night before I had got the news that my dad had died. And so, that in and of itself is not, let me just put it this way. I never really had a real relationship with my dad. So, it's hard to, be super emotional about someone that you really don't know. But that's all I'll say about that. But it wasn't, the emotions of, of course, someone dying is never a good thing. But that did trigger some other, thoughts that kind of related to that situation. So, just the whole purpose of me saying that is that kind of put me in a bad mental state, I'm not gonna say bad mental state. It put me in a mental state to where I wasn't as focused as I needed to be, right? So there's that, and the rest I'll explain it as I go along, or as I review as I do the recap. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go over the trade that I actually made money on, which is the trade where I should have stopped. And there's a reason. It's not just to show, that I made money on this trade. In this trade, I actually had all the signs that I needed to stop trading after after I made profits from the trade, right? After the trade worked out for me. So I got let me go ahead and go. Let me see how you do full screen. I don't use VLC much anymore. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm just gonna play this. Okay, there we go, right there.
Orders
submitted. All right, so you can see I'm trying to buy the dip, right? So I haven't, I'm not in the trade yet. You can see I'm trying to buy the dip. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to buy the dip, right? And I got my location right there. I'm looking at structure. At this point, everything is okay. Everything is fine at this point. But I'm realizing, at some point I start to realize that buying the dip in this way, like the market is not doing what I would like for it to do in order for me to get in where I'm trying to get in. So now, I'm kind of, physically, mentally looking for another place to, to get in, right? I'm looking for how I can adjust my entry order and get a trade going, okay? So everything right now, I'm just trying to, tap back into what I was thinking as I was trading this live. It just seems like another normal day. I went through all my routines. I thought I did, by the way. I will get into that later. We'll look at my journal, and we'll see that I actually didn't even go through. Like, I thought everything was okay, and then everything was good, and it was just another normal day, another normal trading day. I was going to come in, work my strategy, make a little bit of money, and it'd be done for the week and enjoy the weekend, right? But I'm already, like, in hindsight, I really wasn't as focused as I should have been. And we'll see that a little bit more later, right? I got a little hindsight capital there. You can read that if you want. You see, I kind of start building the profile for some FOMO, and this is hindsight, of course. And with this statement right here, where I'm saying it would have been nice to have caught that dip right there. And I saw that after the fact, of course, hindsight capital. I saw that after it happened. So, that's kind of the beginning of me, building some, the FOMO mentality. Okay. So let me go ahead and just get to the trade. Just wanted to, point out a couple things to keep in mind as I progress forward. All right. I'm seeing it here. Now I'm looking to try to catch the break. I didn't want to catch the break. I didn't want to take a breakout trade. I wanted to buy the dip. But already, just off of this right here. Now, this is not how I normally trade. If I'm going to take a breakout, I'm not going to take it after it already, it already technically did a breakout. So I'm kind of chasing at this point, and I'm already trading outside of how I normally trade. But I'm not, in the moment, I'm not realizing that. I'm just thinking that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm following the strategy and I'm following the plan. But I'm actually not. I'm actually freestyling at this point, and I'm chasing. So, I'm trying to take this breakout late, okay? And I end up getting filled. We're just gonna go ahead and fast forward through all of that, right? And already at this point, by this time I know that it's not gonna work out. So I'm just looking to. It's not gonna, the prices. I can see the choppiness in the price action, and I know that it's not gonna keep going. So I'm just looking to buy the dip and kind of save the trade. Well, the load in on the way down, and that's part of my. I'm looking to execute my risk management strategy, right? And I think that I took a couple. It looks like I took a couple off the. No, I didn't. Oh, I went into this. I entered into this position light. That's what happened. And it should be in. I should write it in the journal sometime. To where that I'm saying I will have to freestyle this because I entered it light, and of course, the way that Leeloo, not Leeloo, the way that trading, what is this? Ninja Trader, the way that Ninja Trader, fills the orders or places my targets and stuff. If I don't do the full size of the ATM strategy, it'll put all of the targets into one target. So instead of doing it like I have it set up. So yeah, I took a couple off. I finally get my screenshot. Just gonna fast forward a little bit. All right, everything's just. I'm thinking in my mind, everything's just business as usual. Done loaded into it. Right. At this point, I'm working my risk management strategy.
Order filled.
And even looking at this, it was too aggressive. However, I got, this one, I was able to make this one work out and take some.
Order submitted.
Like, this is not my strategy, like the way that I'm supposed to be trading it. So I'm just, looking at this in retrospect, I don't know what I was thinking about. Like, I do understand that I was in the wrong headspace and, I wasn't thinking correctly. But I'm not even at this point. I'm not even like, telling myself like, what am I doing? I'm not recognizing it. At this point, I haven't realized that, I'm not in the right mental state, or, that I psychologically have a problem. And luckily, because honestly, price should not have retraced like this, but because we're so choppy, luckily I was able to exit this trade for a scalp, pretty much. A small win. And I like the momentum there. I like the price action there. So I let it go up a little bit more, and then I went ahead and killed the trade. So right there, I should have actually, and see, this goes into a little bit more of how I was just, not in the right mental state. Because what time is this? This is almost 10 o'clock. This is 9:49. And I'm up on the day. It's a Friday. I got to go to work, later on in the afternoon. So, I can't be messing around in the trade all day, all morning. You know what I'm saying? Normally on this, if I have a trade like this and I'm recognizing, I write a note in here that I want to point out. All right. So I'm going to pause it right there. I need to open up get my pen tool so I can just really highlight it. All right, here we go. So you can see right here in this little statement right there that I recognize at this point that I'm out of sync with the market today. So normally in that situation, when I realize I'm out of sync with the market, I'm already green for the day. I've already, got my winner and all that good stuff. It's 10 o'clock. Like normally I would stop trading on this is a Friday. I'm green on the week. Like at this point I had already made, I think this trade right here would have put me at either 12 or 1300. Yeah, it should have put me at like 1300. And we can look at those numbers later. What was that? 163.5. So I'm gonna remember that number for the next part of this. And I mean, I gotta, kind of taking too long with explaining all this. Let me go ahead and speed through this. But by this time, like normally, if I'm focused like I need to be, normally this would have been my one and only trade for the day, and I would have stopped trading here. All right. So just the fact that I kept watching it and I kept looking for another trade, it just shows that I wasn't in the right. I wasn't as focused, I wasn't as locked in as I need to be, and I recognized that I was out of sync with the market, and I even spelled sync wrong. So I didn't realize that until after the fact. After I was looking back, I was like, wait, I even spelled sync wrong in that moment. But I'm kind of disappointed that Notion didn't catch that and spell check me on that. But anyway, that is what it is. So let's go ahead and move forward to this next trade. You see, I'm journaling some things down. I'm recognizing that we're in the battle zone. I see, the volume profile, how this is completely noisy, And normally, I've said it. How many times have I said it? I don't like trading in battle zones. So again, I'm already green for the day. It's a Friday. I'm probably the most green I've ever been for the week. Like, I'm just not where I need to be mentally. Of course, that I didn't see this in the moment. I wish I would have realized this in the moment and got myself together, because normally I would have definitely killed the trade. I mean, I would have ended the session, closed shop early, and then just enjoyed my weekend. I had no reason at all to keep trading. That's my point. I had zero reason. And normally, if I'm as focused and locked in as I need to be, then I would have went ahead and I would have stopped trading at this point. But that's not the case, and this is why we're here talking about it right now. All right, so let me get fast forward. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this part right here. I'm gonna switch over to the screenshot. Let me find there we go. Gotta hit refresh on that. Let me go ahead and change over the screens. All right. So here's the breakdown of the trade. This is a screenshot of the trade. I just want to go over this real quick just to show how this wasn't even this. Now that I don't know what honestly, at this point, I have no idea what I was thinking about, other than the fact that I can kind of say that there was some FOMO involved. Like, I saw at one point I made I proclaimed that I wrote it in the journal that I wasn't going to. It's right there. It's right here. Let me just switch back over real quick. I'm gonna try to speed this up a little bit, because I don't want to make this video like 5 hours long. But you can see right here that I claim that I'm not going to take any more breakouts. Right now, technically, I don't consider this a breakout. I consider this a takeout. Let me get back to my other screen here, my other monitor. This one, I was kind of upset that I didn't get in right there. I saw this as an opportunity that I missed. Again, wrong mentality. Now, this part I can't remember about what I was thinking in the moment. In the moment, I was thinking that it would have been nice to get in right there. I was also thinking it would have been nice to get in on this second, dip right here. So I'm looking at two locations where I would have liked to have taken a trade, and I'm looking at it as trades that I missed. So I'm adding on to that FOMO profile, right? So somewhere in between all of that and me actually getting into this trade, that's starting to I'm starting to buy into that. I'm starting to react to that. I'm starting to put action to those thoughts. And my initial when I go back to the other monitor, you'll see where my initial order was, where I was looking to get in initially, which would have been the perfect location. Like, if I would have even if I would have taken another trade, if I would have stayed to my original perspective, to how I was, my original plan, I would have had a great trade. It would have worked out beautifully, and I would have just added so much more to my P&L. And if I would have followed my strategy like I'm supposed to, instead of making this mistake. All right, so somewhere in between looking at those trades that I missed, okay, and watching this price action, this choppy price action up here, I was starting to move my order, my entry order higher into a place. And now that I look at it in hindsight, of course, hindsight is 2020. All right, we know hindsight capital has 100% accuracy, and there's good reason for that. But like there's no reason, nothing in this volume profile right here says that I should have an order anywhere in here. Also, this price action, like just to give the overall thing at this point when I made this trade, I stopped looking at the bigger picture. And you know, I'm always talking about I zoom out and I look at the bigger picture. This time I did not look at the bigger picture. I stopped looking at that. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't even like, I was looking at this and I was looking at the volume profiles and I was looking at my fib levels. But I didn't take time to zoom out, maybe look at an hourly chart, a 30-minute chart, whatever, the daily chart, and see, you know, what is the actual bigger picture right now. And if I looked at the bigger picture, there was no reason for me to take a trade at all at this level right here. Like this was the, I have no real reason for me. Like honestly, I don't even know what I was looking at. Maybe I was looking at this pivot right here, but the short-term pivot. But I mean, that's not the best location with all this volatility, this choppiness, and especially how hard I saw how hard we were selling off right here. Yeah, I had the chance to delete this or to remove this order, but I kept it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and play this. I'm gonna switch back over to the other monitor. I also had a chance to take profit in this trade, right? But like I said, I'm completely in the wrong headspace, and I actually ended up just making a string of bad decisions to what led to my max drawdown. All right, so let me stop rambling and let me just go ahead and play this. Trying to see if there's a way to play it at a faster speed. Probably in playback speed. There we go. All right, I want to speed this up a little bit. All right, so at this point I'm watching it. Now you can see that I'm actually starting to move the order up. Like I'm slowly moving the order up. Like I have no idea, like what am I, even that location right there is not a bad location. I could have, you know, worked my way out of that, you know, pretty nicely. Look, and I'm writing in the journal that the price is way too choppy in its battle zone. And you see there's some FOMO statements in here. That it would have been nice to take. I feel like I'm missing out on trades. And at some point, let me go ahead and I'm moving it, and so that's the final area where I move. Like it makes, like I remember my thoughts, like just thinking of possibilities to enter the trade, but I'm not really looking at it from like the way I like to do it. I like to visualize both sides. Like, okay, if it goes to my order, what does both sides of the trade looks like? So what does it look like if it at this location I'm looking at right here? What does it look like if it, you know, goes in my favor, and what would it look like if it goes against me? And then you know, I like to paint different pictures in my head. I didn't do this on this one, okay? So just on this trade right here, I did not do this. I didn't go through all of that. I have tunnel vision at this point. I do remember that. I have tunnel vision at this point, and I'm thinking that maybe the price will retrace halfway and then go back up and then have a sell-off. I don't think we're going to continue higher at this point, so I'm definitely not interested in any breakouts. It looks like there's a lot of traps that are happening right now. I'm recognizing all of that. You know, that's like easy stuff for me at this point, so that's stuff I don't really have to think about. But like I'm still psychologically just screwing myself over right now with this entry. And I'll make another point once I get actually, you know, filled in the trade and make all the adjustments. All right, so I'm even like taking this in I kind of took the trade in another way, as you can see right here in Sierra chart, but in paper mode, so that's fine. There's nothing, nothing crazy about that, but I'm like using words like scratch the itch. Psychologically, that just shows that I'm in the wrong headspace. Like, why am I scratch? What is that all about? Getting experience, that's right. I get hands-on experience. That's been some of my best teachers for 2020, which I saw my biggest progression as a trader. But in this moment, the best thing for me to have done would have been just to stop trading and walk away from the day. And at this time, it's already 10:20. So like, I mean, it's like, again, it's Friday. I ain't got no job. I ain't got none. My bad. It's a little Friday moment, but the movie Friday. But anyway, yeah, it's Friday. Like, there's no reason for me to continue trading after 10:20. Like, and so I think like one of the things that I'm gonna do in response to this is, if I don't have an order, or I'm not even close to an order by 10:15, I can't place. I got to remove any order that I have. I have to stop looking for a new trade after 10:15. I can continue to watch. I can continue looking. That has worked out really well for me in these last couple of months. Just when the times where I may have had a trade, maybe I didn't have a trade, but when I cut it off at like 10:15 is the last time I'm actually going to take a trade. That has worked out in my favor. That has actually saved me from making mistakes. So I'm going to make that a hard rule right now. And that sound that you may have heard was from Sierra chart, how I was playing with it in Sierra chart. Sierra chart part of it is fine. This is where I was messing up. But yeah, so from moving forward, I'm going to make that a rule that I'm not looking for a new trade unless I'm kind of close to a trade that makes sense and it's a great setup at 10:15. Okay, so 10:15 is going to be my new trade cutoff time, even though my still trading window is 9:30 to 10:30. All right, so now I'm just making adjustments. Okay, and after I get to the point where I took the screenshot, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, and then I'm going to wrap this video up because it's already getting too long.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
All right, so that's a good enough point to stop it. So looking at this is a horrible setup. Like, I have my my method or my strategy for how to manage the risk in case a trade goes against me. And this works out because I'm getting into the position so light, and I have that max drawdown that I shouldn't even get close to as long as I execute the risk management strategy appropriately. But this ain't it. Okay, this is not it at all. This is way too tight. My orders are way too bunched up together, and not even like, it's just taking into consideration the momentum to the short side that we got there. Yeah, it could do what it did right here, but it probability is probably just off of probability it shouldn't do that. Off of probability it should continue to trade lower. So if I still could have, just off of these alone, if I just did this correctly, if I would have executed the this portion of it correctly, if I would have executed the risk management portion of it correctly, I still could have ended up with a profitable trade. However, it's just poor execution all the way around. I already see this right here shows that I don't have faith in this move higher, because I made my stops, or I made my targets super tight, right? So I'm like looking for a scalp, but I'm not a scalp trader. Okay, I will take a scalp if the price doesn't do what I want it to do, but like the only scalp that my strategy has is off that first order, and that's just to get myself into profits like quickly, to take some profit off the table and just let the rest of it play out. And I'm not gonna go too deep into the strategy because that's not what this video is about. But yeah, so the way that I have this set up, I don't have faith in the strategy in this trade at all. It is 10:23. I took this trade at 10:22. Like, there's no reason at all for me to be in this trade right now. absolutely zero reason for me to be in this trade at this location with this price action, with the price structure. And then it's the poor execution, not only on the order, but on the risk management strategy of it, right? So if I would have widened this a little bit, it would have gave me a better, because price ended up, now price, that would have been more luck than anything. Well, I can't say luck because it is based off of my experience with how NQ likes to trade. So it's not really, it wouldn't have been luck, but if I would have executed correctly, I would have had a much better outcome. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this play out. And I mean, like I shared this on Instagram and on TikTok, in a 30-minute, or not a 30-minute, like a 30-second, edited quick video, whatever. Anyway, I shared this trade on Instagram and TikTok. So, if you want to see the whole thing play out, you can go to my Instagram or TikTok. Just look up MV3 Trader. I'll be the first thing that pop up there. And you can see how all that played out. Of course, what happened, I'll just talk about it, so I don't have to, I don't bore you with just watching this as it goes. What happened was, actually, let me play this one part. This one part right here. So I didn't have this opportunity right here to get out. You can see I was actually looking at I moved my mouth. What was that? I moved my mouse over for kind of in preparation for me to go ahead and kill the trade, and I should have did it. But at this moment, the reason why I want to point this out is because at this moment, the thought that came into my head is, let me see how this works out. So if you're saying, like, for me, if I'm saying something like, let me see how this works out, or let me see what happens with this, already, like, that's not, those, every time that I've said those type of words is not, it's something bad followed. So, like, the reason that I didn't catch that, also I'm getting distracted by Notion here. This is not an excuse or anything. Like, Notion is not, for some reason, not, like, I tried to paste my screenshot in there and it didn't paste it correctly. It was doing this weird stuff. So a little distracted by that, even though I'm not blaming Notion at all. You know what I'm saying, for this. But, getting back to the point, so there's that distraction. And then there's also, I'm just like telling myself, I'm using like bad language to myself to where I know that those words never end in a positive thing, right? And you can see I'm starting to get filled on this trade. So, like, if I got to tell myself stuff like that, like, let me see how this works out, or there's another one I wrote down. Anyway, so it was something else that I was telling myself. I thought I noted it down, but I guess I didn't. I can't find it anywhere in any of my notes in my journal. Maybe I don't know. I put some other stuff in the journal too. If you haven't checked that out, that's just at mv3trader.com/journal. Just go to click the big red button and go to the calendar and click on this days, and you'll see the journal for Friday, or for yesterday. So anyway, I was telling myself, there's something else I said. I can't remember what I said at this point, but I was saying things in my head, and I don't think I verbalized any of it out loud. That shows that I wasn't in the right mental state. And I was saying things that, that should have been all the signal, or all the information that I needed to, stop trading for that day and just kill it where it was. Trying to see the P&L, it's not really clear at this point. But even if I would have cut it right here, that would have been better than, letting it go to the max drawdown. But anyway, like by this, I still at this time, I wasn't in the right headspace. Like, things didn't become clear to me until after the trade. And, after I realized that well, not even realized, because it just killed the trade once I hit the max drawdown, like it's opposed to doing the Leeloo account. And if initially I had like, man, if I only had more of a, more room to the downside, because it pretty much just bounced off of where I hit my max drawdown. So like if I just had a little bit, I was telling myself initially, if I had just a little more space, it would have worked out and I would have been good. It would have worked out and I would have, could have made a lot of money with it. But I wouldn't have, because I would have just killed it as soon as I saw green. But regardless of all of that, like it took a while before I actually realized that that I just had poor execution and all the blame was on me, right? That I made all the I did all of the what I'm trying to say. See, I done fucked up. I messed up because I paused. I messed up because I took that pause to look for that. I just should have kept going while I was while I was on the roll. But anyway, it took me a while before I realized, what was real. After all the dust had settled, and then I started to, get my mental clarity back and realize, that I just had poor execution, and 100%. I can't blame Leeloo. It's not Leeloo at all. It's not their rules. It's not the market. It's definitely not the market. Actually, the market gave great opportunities this day. I just didn't get them. I didn't take advantage of it because I was in the wrong headspace and I just had poor execution. Not just poor execution with my trades, but poor execution that I realized that I was out of sync with the market and I didn't stop trading. Poor execution on my participation or how I'm reacting to my realization that I'm not trading the best way that I could possibly be trading, in the moment, right? So just, my poor execution of my, situational awareness in the moment. Okay. So I think I beat that horse pretty dead by this point. Some other things that I kind of wanted to point out that I wrote in my notes here, that's one good thing that I did look at the notes, is some other things that put me in the wrong psychological space is like before, like this week, I was thinking a lot about my withdrawal, like taking my first withdrawal with Leeloo. And I was also thinking about like the targets, or not even the targets, but the goals. Like, so Leeloo has and I'll make a video on this later, but Leeloo, the plan was to, once I, do my first withdrawal, was to, make a video that talks about the whole process and goes into everything that you would need to know about, doing that for the first time with Leeloo, right? So I was thinking about, Leeloo has this thing where you have to have you have to have made a certain amount of profits within a certain amount of days before you can start taking money out, right? And it makes perfect sense because the idea behind it is it's a long-term, this is a long-term investment account. So you should have a long-term, mentality with it. You shouldn't be trying to make a trade today to take money out today so you can go do something with it. All right. So that's the wrong type of mentality to be, trading with Leeloo. If you got that mentality, then, if that's what your goal is, you're just trying to make money to really quick and take the money out really quick, and you're not trying to have any long-term growth, then you shouldn't really be trading with any prop firm account, period. Honestly, if you're going to do that, just do that with your own money, and, you can enjoy that, and, you can go that route. Right. So, I was already thinking wrong on that. I was thinking about my goal for, how much money I need to make before I could, take the money out. I was also thinking about, my P&L and about, not having any red days, or my mind was all over the place. But the crazy thing is the night before, I was listening to a podcast on my way home, right? As I was driving on my way home, and the guy was talking about, in order to be a successful trader, you need to have goals. So I kind of disagree with that. And because my thing is, the only goal for me personally, right? This is me personally. This is how I operate. So you may be different. I'm not, I don't have any, what's the word? Oh my God. Okay. I don't have any concrete ideas of what's right and what's wrong, right? It's whatever works best for you, that's what's right. Okay, whatever doesn't work for you, that's what's wrong. So it's completely based off of you as a trader. But for me personally, my only goal, and this is how I was able to get to this point, to get in the performance account, to pass, to pass the evaluation, to make money in the performance account, is my only goal is to make sure that I'm trading my strategy correctly. So when I have other goals and I start focusing on those other goals, then that's when I start making mistakes. That's when I start, trading like I'm not supposed to be trading. That's when I start building bad habits. That's when I start being too aggressive, overly aggressive, or just completely doing everything except what the main goal, what the one and only goal is. And for me, I don't even consider it as a goal. I consider that as a requirement, because in order to consistently be profitable as a trader over a long period of time, the main focus, in my personal opinion, is to make sure that you're following the strategy as best as you can every single time you step in front of these charts, or you sit in front of these charts, or you sit at your desk and you start trading or investing or whatever. It's consistency to your strategy. All right, so that is my one and only goal, to the point where I don't consider it a goal. I consider it, I can't even talk. That's my one and only goal, to the point where I don't consider it a goal, where I consider focusing 100% on your strategy is a requirement. Okay, so that's why when he said that, when I hear other people say that, you should have a goal, you should have your goals, I don't agree with that, because one, just me as a person, I'm not goal driven like that. I'm more driven about, other stuff that I'm not gonna get into, because it's gonna draw this video out even longer than it has to be. And I've already beat this horse dead enough. All right, so that's another thing that was that's some other things that had me in the wrong mental state. That's why I don't like setting goals, as I said before. I'm just looking at my notes right now. Let's see. So basically, I don't got to go over the rest of the stuff. I've pretty much talked about everything that I need to talk about. So just a quick, just recap what should have happened, is because I like to end everything on a positive note, and I like to give most of my attention to what I did right or what I could have done better, and recognizing what I did wrong. But I like to give most of the energy to the positive side of it, right? Because if we know the saying, I'm not going to repeat the saying. I'm talking too much, so let me go ahead and say this. So what I should have did was, once I taken that first trade and I realized that I was out of sync with the market, I should have stopped right there. It was already, I'm green for the day, green for the week. I'm well on my way to where I want to be. I should have stopped trading right there and been done for the day. I did good by realizing that I was out of sync, and then annotating that down. But what happened after that, that's we have already talked about all that. And what I could have did better, with this trade, the trade that where I made the mistakes, where the trade that put me at my max drawdown, I could have executed the risk management portion of it better, right? I should have had wider fill-ins or scale-ins, right? Like the third order that I got triggered into, it should have been at the closest. It should have been on this yellow line, and had that have happened, then I more than likely wouldn't have hit my drawdown, because the price bounced right here. And what would have happened more than likely is I would have dropped my average price down low enough to where I would have been able to get out and live to trade in this performance account another day. All right, so that's pretty much everything that happened, everything I wanted to talk about. There's some more things, like some things that I need to build a method for when I'm as a fail safe to protect myself, and when I'm just not, because it doesn't happen that often, but because of everything that was going on, I need to create some kind of fail safe to where I don't become my worst enemy in situations where I'm just completely out of my mind in the moment, right? So the stuff like this doesn't happen again, or that I can mitigate it even more, right? So like I haven't had a day like this in a long time, and actually I think the last time I've had a mental breakdown like this was in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. But it doesn't happen It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, it's severe, as we can see right here. So and I got a couple ideas that where I can do something, or that where I can make a plan, or you know a strategy or whatever, to where that I'm not my own worst enemy. For something like mistakes are gonna happen, so that it is. I already got fail safe for mistakes, but I need a fail safe for me just getting into my own way when I self sabotage myself, where it's a major mistake like this. All right, so that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. Look at my board, make sure I didn't write any notes over there, and that's how all of that happened. So luckily, all of this happened the same week that Leeloo was having their week of sales, and I was able to reopen another evaluation account for $51 with the same thing. So using their discount code, and if well, I'm not even gonna say all that. So I already got another evaluation account. I already opened another evaluation account, so that's good, and that's ready to go for Monday. And we'll just start fresh. I'll do some more reviewing for the rest of the day. Tomorrow, just not even gonna look at a chart at all until it's time for me to start setting everything up with NV3 Trader, the business, right? And I'll just take some time and just unwind and relax and enjoy some time with family, and just get myself back into the right mental state, and start fresh again. Start all over, fresh again on Monday morning. The good thing about this is I'm able to get first hands-on experience with every part of trading with Leeloo. So it gives me a lot of information and a lot of data that I can share with you guys. And what happened, so on that note, what happened with this is, let me skip just a little bit, like my youngest daughter used to say. All right, so it should be around in here. So eventually, that third order got filled. My P&L was just horrible at this point, and I didn't, never got a chance to really get out. I want to let this. I was hoping it would bounce right here. I would get a nice little bounce right there. I was hopeful. That's the other thing. I was hopeful. I was hoping. All right, so right there, you can see that's when I was taken out of the trade, and Leeloo went ahead and canceled all of my orders and everything because I hit my max drawdown like they're supposed to do, right? And there we go. And then it finally gave me the bounce that I was looking for. Thank you, market. Now the market ain't got nothing to do with that. That's all on me. All right, so what happened at this point, at the end of the trading day, I got an email from Leeloo that that my performance account has been canceled, and they were sympathetic and everything. They had all the right language and everything, and just pretty much, hey, it sucks. Like, just paraphrasing, like, yeah, we noticed that you hit your max drawdown. We got to cancel your performance account, but it happens. Blah blah blah. It sucks, but hey, feel free to open up another evaluation account and give it another try. That's not what it said verbatim at all. I'm strongly paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what that email was, and I didn't have to do anything else beyond that. Only thing that I did was open up another evaluation account to give it another try. I was thinking about taking a week off and just from Leeloo, or at least a week off, some time away from trying this Leeloo thing, and just trading in my actual account with AMP, my live account, or my regular account. But because we had this sale, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with Leeloo again. I'm not going to stop with Leeloo. It wasn't Leeloo's fault. It was completely my fault. So I might as well take advantage of this sale, while it's here. Who knows when Leeloo's going to have another sale like this, especially that's like more than 50% off. Like, the regular price for the $50,000 account is $170. So I only had to pay $51 for it. So I might as well, you know what I'm saying? It was completely on me. I recognized that it was completely on me, and I knew my mistake. It's an easy mistake to avoid, you know. Well, it's an easy mistake to avoid, and you know, I'm aware of it now. You know, I know what I need to do moving forward, and it's highly unlikely that it's going to happen again within this year. Actually, if it does, then I don't know. But anyway, I'm not even going to speak that into the into the universe. But with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking, and in this video, go ahead and let me know your thoughts and your opinions and your whatever you want to say in the comment section below. I love to hear what you guys got to say. I love your questions. I love being able to help other people and answer your questions, and just let me know what you think. Let me know what kind of questions you have in the comment section below. You already know what to do with the like button and the subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, right? I'm here for you. So this is why I kind of just run through the like subscribe thing really quickly, because I'm not doing this for myself. If I was just only doing YouTube for myself, I would have stopped YouTube a long time ago, because I don't get the metrics that I would need to make myself happy just off of metrics alone, or just trying to become a partner with YouTube and all that stuff. It's not really worth it for me to put all the effort into. Anyway, the point is, I'm rambling again. The point is, I'm making these videos for you guys, right? I'm making these videos because I like to help other people. And if I'm able to just to help one person or a couple hundred people, that's completely fine with me. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I would love to get the YouTube partnership thing, and that would be awesome. And to be able to monetize it from the advertisements and all of that stuff, that would be great. So, if you want to support that, y'all know how to do that. That's not a secret at this point. But with all, anyway, with all that being said, go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section below, and I will see you guys Monday. Trade it easy.